She walked into the restaurant with a child pressed against her chest. Her eyes found me before I could disappear into the routine of trays and orders. She smiled, not the polite curve of a customer, but recognition. Intimate, too close. "I've been looking for you," she said. The baby shifted, small fingers curling against her blouse. My chest tightened, though I couldn't explain why. 6 months ago, I had handed her a plate of food when she was starving, belly swollen, eyes hollow. It had cost me my job, my dignity. My manager called the police like I was some thief, while she fled into the night. Now she was here, with the proof of her survival, with something more, something I wasn't ready to see. I moved through the motions of service. Glasses filled, plates delivered, but my eyes cut back to her table again and again, unbidden. The baby's face, the small shape of the nose, the curve of the mouth. Recognition twisted in me like a knife. I had seen those features before, in a mirror. I told myself it wasn't possible, that desperation had carved hallucinations into my skull. But when she lifted the child and the light caught those dark, unblinking eyes, my certainty fractured. My wife's absence from my life returned to me with brutal clarity. Those unexplained nights, the strange evasions, the cold distance she claimed was stress. I'd believed her because belief was easier than suspicion. Now suspicion sat across the room, breathing, crying softly against its mother's chest. And I felt something inside me start to collapse. I didn't confront her, not then. Rage is loud, but silence is patient. I asked around quietly, found her name, her address, the story she carried like armor, abandoned, pregnant, living out of her car. But the details didn't add up. No father listed, no family, just her, the child, and shadows. One evening I followed her home, watched through the cracked blinds as she placed the baby in a crib. The way she looked at the child wasn't desperation, it was possession, fierce, protective. I needed certainty, so I took it. A strand of hair left tangled on her booth seat after she left, another from my own comb, a test mailed in silence. Waiting was a slow burn. Every day I carried plates while my chest carried fire. I smiled at strangers while inside I rehearsed the outcome that would end me, one way or another. The envelope came on a gray morning, thin, unremarkable, but it weighed more than stone in my hands. I opened it with the precision of a surgeon. Words carved themselves into me. Probability of paternity, 99.9%. Mine. The ground beneath me dissolved. The starving woman I had saved hadn't been a stranger at all. She had been the carrier of my betrayal, my wife's betrayal, my friend's laughter in her silence. I went to her apartment that night. She opened the door, surprised but unafraid. I handed her the paper, said nothing. Her lips trembled. "I thought you'd never know." The words tasted like ash in the air. We sat in silence while the child slept in the next room. She tried to explain how my wife had grown distant, how loneliness had found her in the form of charity, comfort, how one mistake became months, how pregnancy became exile. Her voice cracked, but I didn't respond. I had lived too long inside excuses. Finally, I spoke. "You let me lose everything for you. My job, my home, my life. And you let me believe it was mercy, not blood." She reached for me, but I pulled back, leaving her hand trembling in empty space. "Raise him well," I said. "But understand, he will never know my name." The devastation in her eyes was louder than any scream. I walked out into the cold night, the city lights burning without warmth. Inside me, something settled. Not peace, not forgiveness, just clarity. I had saved a stranger once. Now I had severed a tie I never asked for. The world didn't need my rage. It needed my silence. The child would grow without my shadow. My wife would rot in the grave she dug with her lies. And the woman who carried my blood would wake every morning knowing the truth she could never erase. That was enough. I didn't lose a family. I exorcised a ghost. The deadliest revenge isn't destruction. It's erasure.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.